I gave her. You see?
Way too. All right, what's going on, you guys? Hope you guys are having a good day today, man. I'm just getting home from watching the Deadpool and Wolverine movie not too long ago. This was a movie I was somewhat looking forward to. I don't really get hype for Marvel movies these days anymore. But, you know, I'm a Hugh Jackman fan, and, you know, the last Wolverine movie, which was Logan, which was one of my favorite Wolverine movies, if not the favorite Wolverine movie. All of the hype that I had for this movie is 99% because Hugh Jackman was gonna be in this movie. Like, I didn't really care. I mean, I did like the first Deadpool movie. The second one was okay, but I don't even think I've seen all of the second one. I take it back. Probably 100% of this movie, why I wanted to see this movie was because of Hugh Jackman was going to be in this. And because, you know, X-Men Origins of Wolverine that they did, like, what, over 10 years ago. And there was always, you know, that, you know, like, whoa, what if they do a movie with Deadpool and Wolverine? And it's always been there. And Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, they're like besties. So before I get into my review, I will say I am going to be covering some, you know, spoilers in this movie. So if you guys did not see the movie, I would advise you not to watch past this point. I was going to do like a spoiler free review, but I just feel like talking about the stuff. So I didn't want to dance around stuff. So if you want to come back and watch this vid, feel free. Final warning, I'm about to, you know, get into some stuff that happens in the movie. But I was interested of how they was going to set this movie up. Because if you've seen Logan, sucker's dead. You know, so I was like, how are they going to set this up? And I kind of figured the direction they was going in, because Marvel does so much stuff now today with the with the multiverses and timelines and, you know, going back in time and flashbacks. So I kind of figured it was going to play out something like that, and that's kind of how it played out, you know, with all these different timelines and stuff. So they're like doing this thing called like the sacred timeline, and like Deadpool has to, you know, like go back in time to like fix his, or is this either, I don't know, with all like the freaking time jumping, I don't even really care, to be if I'm being honest, bro. Again, after Endgame, all like this multiverse stuff and time jumping, I kind of be losing interest in it because it's just such a thing now in these movies. So they do go into this like sacred timeline to where Deadpool has to, like, you know, do something in this timeline before his timeline like gets destroyed and stuff like that. I did like the intro to this movie of how, you know, you see him like big. I thought it was funny, like the way they did the intro, like it like takes place like right after the end of Logan. So you see Deadpool digging up a freaking Logan's grave, and like he's like, you can't die, you just can't die. I thought it was funny how they did that. Again, with these Deadpool movies, these movies have like a bunch of humor and jokes in it. And, you know, because Deadpool, you know, is rated R, I feel like at times to where in any other Marvel movie to where like the joking and like the humor would be kind of like over the top and you start to like roll your eyes. Deadpool can get away with it because he's freaking Deadpool, and this is what he does. He freaking talks a lot. You know, he's the merc with the mouth. He's always talking, and, you know, it's more like adult jokes. So, you know, there's a lot of joking around and stuff like that. And some of the jokes hit, some don't. I do feel like at times, even for a Deadpool movie, the jokes were just like a little bit too much. I'm like, all right. There's this scene where Deadpool, you know, he finally agrees to do what like he has to do with, like, you know, the people in charge of what's going on. I think the guy's name was like Paradox or something like that. It was just, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of the characters in this movie I did not care. If it wasn't Deadpool or freaking Wolverine or a few other characters that I'm about to get into, I did not care. I did not care about the characters in. But yeah, eventually they become a team, and it was cool to see the clashing of their personalities in the movie, because you know how Deadpool is, it's like it never shuts up, and you know how Logan you know how Logan is. He doesn't want to like hear all the stuff he has to say. They had a scene, you know, to where I feel like they did need to have this scene to where you see Deadpool versus Wolverine. It was still a good scene, and I think they had like 2 scenes like that. But yeah, I wish they would have lasted a little bit longer, and they weren't as like jokey, because you know, when you combine that on top of like the music that was going on, I just kind of wanted, you know, again, this was a Deadpool movie, but this is also Wolverine. And like, you know, a lot of us was, you know, seeing this more so to see Hugh Jackman as Logan again. And I just kind of felt like at times, like they kind of needed like balance in this movie. Like still, you know, have the stuff with Deadpool, but when like Logan is on the screen, Logan ain't joking around like that as much as Deadpool is. And I just kind of felt like at times this movie didn't have like balance as far as from Hugh Jackman's side of things. And it was just doing too much Deadpool stuff. But I mean, I guess that can be, you know, up to interpretation of how, you know, you looked at this movie. Lots of unexpected cameos in this movie. Again, I did not see anything past the first trailer. I did think towards like before I saw this movie, I did get spoiled. I forgot how. I think it was on like a thumbnail or something on YouTube. I was just like, God damn it. Because I've seen X-23 like before I saw the movie. I'm like, Jesus, I wish I didn't see that. So she's in this movie, but she's more grown now, of course. So it was nice to see. I actually wish that she played more of a role, because she didn't really talk much in this movie. And you know, if she is going to be like the future X-23, you know, I just kind of wanted to see her have a little bit more character development in this movie. She did have some moments with Logan in this movie to where they're like talking and stuff like that, and she like tells him, you know, like what he did for her, you know, before, and he's a hero, and how he can still be that guy despite him doubting himself on this mission. I just wish she had like a little bit more screen time. Other cameos you've seen in this junk that I did not expect at all, and I was actually shocked that it got almost like no reaction in my theater. Like, I don't know if my theater was just like it was weird, because like at the end of this movie, like my theater was clapping, but when these characters would come on screen, there was like no there was no reaction. They have freaking well, it's actually not Steve Rogers. But Captain America is in this freaking movie, but it's before Captain America became Captain America with Chris Evans. It's Chris Evans as the Human Torch. He's freaking in this movie, and I'm just like, you know, maybe a lot of people forgot at one point before Chris Evans became the Captain America that he was in this trash behind movie called, well, actually, I didn't even think the first Fantastic Four was that bad, honestly, compared to the ones that came after that one. You're seeing him on screen again, but he's playing Johnny, and it just kind of, I don't know, just kind of felt like different because of just all the stuff that has happened in Marvel since the last time he's played Johnny. But you see like other old X-Men in this movie, from the Juggernaut to Sabretooth to Toad, to some people from a First Class, I forgot their name. Elektra is in this movie, who played, you know, well, played by Jennifer Garner back in, what was that, like 2003 or 4 or something like that. She's in this movie. Blade, freaking Wesley freaking Snipes, old ass Wesley is in this movie playing Blade. Literally zero reaction in my theater. Nobody like said, no one like, yeah, oh snap, yo Blade. It was like nothing, just like old ass nigga. It's just like, okay, Blade is in this movie. They had Gambit in the, I don't Did what's this? I forgot his name. Hold up. It was freaking Magic Mike playing playing Gambit in this junk. Channing Tatum. Maybe I missed out on the movie. Since when was Channing Tatum Gambit in this junk? I remember in X-Men Origins Wolverine, they had some other dude playing Gambit. I didn't know. Maybe they just like recasted Gambit and now he's just Gambit. But I'm like, since when was Channing Tatum a freaking X-Men? Yeah, I just kind of feel like even though they were in the movie, I don't know. I just felt like they kind of just. And other Deadpool movies have you know had cameos in them too, but to where those cameos felt more special and like they actually played a bigger role in it, or just like the moment was just better. In this movie, it kind of just felt like, I don't know, cheap, kinda, in a way, you know, just because of the way like their team is orchestrated and like these suckers just pop up on screen and now all of a sudden like, oh yeah, we're a team now and we're giving speeches and we have to stop. I'm like, stop. Like, this is the most like random ass team I've ever seen in my life, but this is the team that they're giving us. So it kind of felt rushed, in my opinion, at least, and kind of cheap at times, but it was still cool to see. Like, again, I figured in this movie that we was going to get like a lot of fan service and stuff like that, which we did get, but you know, I'm all for the sake of fan service when like it actually, you know, like just like in No Way Home, to where you had like a lot of fan service in that movie, but it played like a bigger part and like it actually meshed well with like the plot of the movie. I didn't feel like it was meshing well in the plot of this movie, I guess is what I'm saying. The pacing sometimes was kind of I don't know. I mean, I just think the plot itself I just didn't enjoy. I don't know about you guys, but and I think even Deadpool, even Deadpool himself, like again, some of like the fourth wall breaking and jokes in this movie like did hit. Like he is even dissing like the freaking state of the MCU and like the multiverse stuff, and like here and he says something like we're all tired of it. We're all tired of it. Like even Deadpool says it, and that's honestly how I feel. I'm so tired of like every time I walk into a Marvel movie, it's something about jumping back and forth between timelines or the multiverse this and the multiverse that. I just feel like now it just messes with the pacing for their movies, and I'm just tired of seeing it. So I feel like from that standpoint, that's why I didn't really enjoy the plot of this movie, because it was just like all over the place, and it just felt like what they was fighting for didn't even feel and again, it's not just this movie, it's literally the state of Marvel right now. Even when they're fighting for something big, it don't really feel like there's really nothing at stake, and that's kind of how this felt. Like, yeah, they're fighting to save, you know, their timeline and like, you know, the people that they care about, but why should I care about these suckers again? And the villain of this movie, some of this stuff I guess you would have needed to read the comics, because I didn't even know Charles Xavier had a twin sister. But that's the villain of this movie. Cassandra was her name, and like it was funny the way she was introduced. Because when she's first introduced, like she's in like a wheelchair and like you see the bald head, and like Deadpool's like, Charles. It's like, again, some of the jokes was like hitting in the movie, and he was like, Charles. And then it like finally goes to her and you see it's not Charles, but it seems like she has the same telepathic powers that Charles Xavier has, but she was also like grabbing Wolverine almost if she was Magneto, and she killed Johnny by like ripping off his skin. I'm like, what is this? Like, kind of weird to see like the way she would, you know, get inside people's minds is literally like putting her freaking hand like inside of their head, and you would see like all the special effects going on, and her freaking fingers is going through their nostrils and their eyes. It was like, all right. Towards the end, you know, they had like this one scene where it was like 100 100 Deadpools that like came out of like a freaking portal, and like they're all, and I thought I was like, yo, if they're gonna let Logan rock this freaking yellow suit, and this might be the last time we see Logan again. I don't know if they showed this in the trailers, but I only seen the first one, so I was shocked that they actually gave this sucker the mask. He freaking puts on the mask. Our first time seeing Hugh Jackman masked up as Wolverine. I thought that was great, and they're fighting, you know, in this scene. And again, what they did in almost every action scene is they slowed down, like, you know, it was like a lot of like slow mos in these action scenes where they're fighting, and then again the music choice that they would use. So what should have made for like a great moment and like a great action scene, it was always kind of turned into like something funny that was going on a screen, or like it would go into slow mo, or you couldn't really focus on what was going on because of the music choice. So I was like really disappointed in this movie, because I remember in the first Deadpool, all of the action scenes that they had in that movie I damn near loved. But in this one, it was like, man, I wish they could have did this jump like a little bit more different, and like, you know, just made it more like epic with like the fighting scenes that was going on. I mean, this is freaking Deadpool and Logan, for crying out loud. I personally, I still enjoy this movie. I would probably give this movie I'll give it a 7. I'll give this movie a 7. You know, again, I don't think this is nowhere near. I don't even think that this is as good as Deadpool 2. Again, I didn't see all of Deadpool 2 from start to finish, but it like comes on FX so often now, so I've like watched it, you know, off and on, but I've like never sat and watched the whole movie, but I've damn near seen like every scene from it. But yeah, I didn't even think it was. I just remember the first time Deadpool came out, the junk was amazing, and I freaking loved the movie. And this one is Deadpool and Wolverine, but again, I don't think it was enough balance in this movie. Like, is this? I mean, is this more of a Deadpool movie? In my opinion, yes, it is. But because Hugh Jackman is in this as well, and he's on the screen just as much as Deadpool in this movie, and we all, you know, a lot of people wanted to see this movie. The whole marketing ploy of this movie was Hugh Jackman is back as Wolverine, and he's going to be next to Deadpool. Like, if you're going to do that, you got to have balance in this movie. And I just felt like they did all the Deadpool stuff good, but when it came to Hugh Jackman, yeah, there were some serious moments with him on screen, but you know, Hugh Jackman is just as iconic in playing this role as freaking Robert Downey Jr. was as playing Iron Man. One of the best casting choices ever. And what made Hugh Jackman great as playing Wolverine is those moments to where he's in combat, or he's serious and he's growling and he's doing all of the roars and stuff. Like there were no really moments like that for Hugh Jackman in this. It was like always more so like him just saying shut up to Deadpool, or you know, even him cracking some joke. I'm just like but yeah, I mean, there's definitely things that I can nitpick about this movie. I don't want to make the score lower, because now I'm actually starting to think, is this a 6.5 movie or is this a 6 out of a 10 movie instead of a 7? But no, I did still enjoy this movie. What score would y'all give the movie? Would you give it the same score that I gave it, a 8.5, a 9, a 10, a 2? Y'all leave y'all comments and more down in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until my next video, my brothers and sisters, I catch y'all boys in my next one. All right.